head in Papua New Guinea and shock the world. Welcome back 500 brothers to Enigmatic Echoes, where every watch opens a new adventure. Today we're heading to a place that sounds mysterious just by its name. Can you guess where it is?
That's right, nowhere else than Papua New Guinea. Sounds familiar yet strange, doesn't it?
A peaceful island nation north of Australia, where pristine nature and mysterious culture blend into a picture both beautiful and spine-chilling. Can you believe it? 90% of this country's land is lush forests, home to thousands of bizarre species,
including butterflies as large as an adult's hand, so beautiful they seem to have set up a painting.
Just beautiful, it. Here, there are tribes completely isolated from the outside world, speaking languages only their tribe understands, performing rituals that will surely leave you gaping. Why are there over 800 languages in a country of just about 7 million people? How do they live, and what are the mysteries that intrigue the world? This video, 6 strange and mysterious things unique to Papua New Guinea. People don't sleep indoors or bathe for 2 months to honor the deceased.
You know, in most countries worldwide, when someone passes away, people usually hold funerals, pray for the soul, and lay them to rest.
But in Papua New Guinea, especially in remote missionary areas, they have their own unique way of remembrance, unlike anyone else. Sounds strange, but it's touching and very solemn too. Specifically, when someone in the household dies, the family won't sleep indoors or bathe for 2 months.
Hearing this, many of you might think, how bizarre. How do they endure not bathing for 60 days?
That's strange, but it.
They lay out mats, tree bark, and sleep on the ground, absolutely not going to bed or touching water.
It's the time they share sorrow with the soul of their loved one, an extremely sacred practice.
After 2 months, the family invites a priest to perform a ceremony.
Only then can they bathe and sleep indoors again. Those who can afford it hold a small feast, inviting neighbors to share. Like saying, "We've overcome the pain." What's more, almost no deceased here have coffins. They simply place the body in a grave,
cover it with a cloth, and fill it with soil. On the grave, they place flowers, money, and even hang a mosquito net.
You've heard right,
exactly a sleeping mosquito net. Because they believe the soul of the deceased still needs a peaceful place like when alive.
But that's not all.
In highland tribes, funeral customs are even more peculiar and unique. When parents die, relatives don't bury them immediately but apply a special liquid made from forest tree bark to the body. This liquid prevents the body from decomposing, like a traditional embalming method. Organs are removed and buried separately, while the body is taken to a steep cliff, tied in a sitting position. The purpose is to avoid wild animals and keep the body intact.
After drying out over time, the family brings the remains home, placing them in the living space,
as a way for ancestors to always be present and protect their descendants.
Sounds creepy, but for the Trobriand people, it's the strongest testament to love and family bonds. To you brothers, these customs might sound like horror movies, but for Papua New Guineans, they're sacred. It's sincerity, not superstition or weirdness at all. So if you had the chance, would you dare visit Papua New Guinea to explore this culture firsthand? Comment below right away to let us know your thoughts. People have 5% superhero genes from another human species. Have you ever wondered if there's any ethnic group on Earth still carrying genes from a human species extinct tens of thousands of years ago? Sounds like science fiction, right? But no, this is 100% true. And it happens in one of the most unique and special ethnic groups on the planet, the people of Papua New Guinea. It might seem like just a small Pacific island nation. But did you know, the people here have lived almost isolated from the world for over 50,000 years. That's right, 50,000 years, a period twice as long as the history of building the Egyptian pyramids.
And precisely because of that long-standing isolation, their bodies preserve gene segments that most modern humans no longer have.
Especially the genes of the Denisovans, an ancient human species that once coexisted with Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, but went extinct long ago. According to a scientific study published in Nature Communications, Papua New Guineans carry up to 5% Denisovan DNA, while other ethnic groups only have about 2% or much less. That's why they are considered the closest surviving descendants of the Denisovans.
A human group that scientists are still struggling to understand.
Hearing this, many of you might be astonished and puzzled. Huh, what are those genes for? Do they have any function? Of course they do.
The new research reveals something extremely interesting. The genes transferred from Denisovans have helped Papua New Guineans adapt exceptionally well to harsh living environments. Whether it's hot, humid tropical forests or towering mountain peaks.
Specifically, scientists analyzed the genes of people living on Mount Wilhelm, which is over 2,300 meters high,
and people on Paru Island, a lowland area near sea level.
The results surprised everyone.
People in lowland areas have gene mutations that help resist malaria and in fact,
thanks to a protein called GB-Pi, which is also a gift left by the Denisovans. And what about people living in high mountain areas?
They possess genetic variations that help their bodies produce more red blood cells, increasing oxygen absorption capacity, something that ordinary people experience dizziness and shortness of breath at high altitudes, but they live as it is completely normal.
So from transferred genes to adaptation ability, from jungles to mountain peaks, Papua New Guineans carry biological superpowers that almost nowhere else in the world possesses.
And all of this is the result of an evolutionary process spanning tens of thousands of years,
with the participation of extinct
ancestors that today only survive in modern human genes.
Hearing this, what do you think? If you had 5% ancient human blood flowing in your veins, would you want to know how you're different? Worshipping pigs as sacred objects.
Until now, when mentioning pigs, we usually only think of them as familiar livestock.
Mainly for meat, cooking, and even becoming the main character in drinking parties, right? However, few would expect that in a faraway place like Papua New Guinea, this animal is elevated to sacred status, even becoming a symbol of power and respected no less than tribal treasures. Sounds hard to believe, doesn't it?
But actually, this is a unique cultural feature that has existed for a very long time in this island nation, thus.
In tribal society in Papua New Guinea, pigs are not just livestock, but also a standard for measuring a man's wealth, status, and capability.
The more pigs one raises, the more valuable they are in the community's eyes. A typical example is some local tribes often rubbing pig fat mixed with ash on their faces.
Not for beauty purposes. This is how they demonstrate courage, endurance, and the ability to protect the tribe. And what about the tribal chiefs? Some go to such extremes as piercing their nostrils and inserting wild boar tusks as symbols of ultimate authority. One look and you immediately know who has a voice in the village. And you know what?
One of the most famous tribes here, the Jambu tribe, particularly demonstrates the importance of pigs in spiritual life.
For them, a pig isn't simply livestock for slaughter, but valuable property, even included in important ceremonies like weddings, gift exchanges, or childbirth celebrations. S family will bring pigs to present to the bride.
If the bride is considered beautiful, elegant, and capable, the groom's family must bring 7 to 8 pigs to express their sincerity.
It's not just a token gesture, but truly a ritual showing respect and commitment to the upcoming marriage. After hearing this, it does seem stressful, no joke. Even in some families in Papua New Guinea, pigs are kept as pets, just like how many people here keep dogs and cats at home.
Having pigs wandering around the kitchen, sleeping beside you at night, waking up to their oinks greeting their owners. Just imagining it seems both funny and cute.
But thinking about having a pig at home could be interesting too, both unique and cool. However, I wonder if pig owners in Papua New Guinea face any difficulties? Taking care of one like that probably requires patience and lots of love to form such bonds, right? That's familiar to us ISN. And who knows, after watching this video, you might look at pigs with different eyes, perhaps more respectfully. The hats are made from top, in a faraway place, amidst the lush green mountains of the southern highlands of Papua New Guinea.
There is a tribe named Huli, considered one of the most unique in the world. The name may sound unfamiliar, but upon learning about them, you'll find that they are one of the most extraordinary and uniquely custom peoples you will ever encounter.
The Huli live in the Tari, Margarima, and Komi regions, and what makes them completely different from the rest of the world? That's that they use their own hair to make hats, and it. But before reaching that legendary hat, the boys in the tribe had to undergo a long journey full of rituals, discipline, and pride. From birth until the age of 7, Huli boys live with their mothers, but upon turning 8, they move in with their fathers to begin learning the necessary skills to become real men. Like hunting with bows and arrows, building mud houses, and understanding tribal laws, by the age of 14, it is time to enter the Wig School, where the journey to becoming a true Huli man officially begins. Hearing about a school that makes wigs sounds exciting, right? But this isn't about cutting or styling hair like at a salon.
The young individuals will let their hair grow naturally, taking meticulous care of it for 18 months without using chemicals or unnecessary trimming to ensure the hair is long, thick, and at its healthiest.
Then, they use their own hair to weave a special hat called the Huli wig. Of course, this hat isn't just for fun, it symbolizes maturity, courage, and respect for ancestors.
Some people even have to spend up to 15 years of study to complete all kinds of hats. Hats for ceremonies, hats for festivals, hats for weddings, and hats for combat. Each hat has its own distinct style, color, and decoration. When attending the graduation ceremony, a very important ritual, the boys will paint their faces with yellow ochre, wear traditional attire, and are officially permitted to leave the school to find a wife.
It sounds like a fairy tale,
but it's 100% true. Moreover, every year, the Huli people participate in an extremely grand event called the Sing Sing, a festival that gathers various tribes in the area.
This is both an occasion to gather and discuss important matters, and a place to showcase the culture, strength, and uniqueness of each tribe. And of course, no one could forget the moment the Huli people appeared with hats made from real hair, faces painted in yellow and red, moving like artists stepping out of a legend. Looking at those hats, one does not only see beauty, but also the history, pride, and strong spirit of a people who have lived for over 1,000 years in the mountains of Papua New Guinea. I'm already so impressed, how about you? Do you find these hair hats unique? If you're as amazed as I am, leave a comment below. Who knows, maybe someday you'll want to go to Papua New Guinea just to see these living works of art with your own eyes. A small country but with over 800 languages. When hearing that Vietnam has 54 ethnic groups, each speaking a different language, many people are already stunned, aren't they? Yet, there is a place that is even more astonishing. A country with only about 7 million people has over 800 different languages.
By now, do you know which country it is? Yes, it's Papua New Guinea. Where else could it be? Just imagine it like this for easier understanding.
You are walking on a small road in a village by the forest, having just turned a corner, and the voices already sound different. Just a few kilometers away,
and you already encounter a different tribe, a different language. Each language in Papua New Guinea is spoken by only a few dozen to a few 100,000 people, not as widely as English or Vietnamese, you know.
It can be said that this country is home to one of the world's richest linguistic treasures. You know, even though they live together in a not-so-large area, the people here are extremely diverse in culture, customs, and beliefs, something rarely found anywhere else in the world.
The reason there are so many languages is that each community lived quite isolated, self-sustaining and self-reliant, leading them to independently develop their own distinct language and culture over time.
That is also the reason why Papua New Guinea is considered one of the most difficult countries to communicate with on the planet.
However, for the convenience of education, administration, and trade, this country currently has 3 official languages.
English is the first language used primarily in education and government.
The second language is hotbed, a very interesting Creole language, a blend of English and indigenous languages. Finally, there is Hurmaku, a simplified variant of the Mokuko language from the Southern Dao language family. It is known that the first inhabitants came here over 60,000 years ago.
They migrated from the Southeast Asia region, so what if their ancestors are somehow related to us? Then in the 16th century, Europeans began to set foot in this land. First is Portugal, Spain, then England, Germany, Japan. This country is almost like a living history book, with layers of culture and traces from various civilizations. And despite many ups and downs, in September 1975, Papua New Guinea officially regained its independence. Since then, this country has maintained its unique identity, largely unaffected by globalization, and has thus preserved its distinctive pristine beauty to this day.
However, what is noteworthy is that despite the linguistic richness and cultural diversity, there are also majestic natural landscapes.
But Papua New Guinea remains on the list of the least explored places in the world. That is why, if you are an explorer who loves to discover things that are still wild and not overly commercialized by tourism, then this is certainly an ideal destination that you should add to your must-go list right away.
Queen men take many wives. Women show off their beauty to ask for love.
Have you ever heard of a place where just stepping in makes you feel like you've traveled through time? A pristine and mysterious land, where mountains and sea merge into one, where people live as if untouched by the modern world. Yeah, it sounds like something out of a fairy tale, but it's actually Papua New Guinea, a forgotten paradise in the middle of the ocean.
With a coastline stretching over 600 kilometers, golden sand beaches as smooth as powder span the entire region, while the seawater is so clear it seems freshly squeezed from the sky.
Papua New Guinea is a gift from nature for those who love the sea, love the wilderness, and are captivated by beauty that has not been overly touched by human hands. Not yet, beneath that water lies a vibrant world with stunningly beautiful coral reefs, where you can dive for hours and still not run out of surprises. But Papua New Guinea isn't just about blue seas and white sand, it also astonishes visitors with its magnificent volcanoes. Some are extinct, while others still smolder as if recounting Earth's millions of years of history. The mountains, rivers, and waterfalls here are so beautiful they make you feel like you stepped into an adventure movie. If you dare to adventure, visit Eberia Cave, dubbed the gateway to the underworld. Just hearing the name gives you chills, doesn't it? LL feel like you. When you return to the surface, you'll be welcomed by villages steeped in traditional tribal culture, where time seems to stand still. Particularly the Bougainville region,
An island that once belonged to the Solomon Islands, now part of Papua New Guinea.
Due to long isolation from the mainland, the culture here is so different it feels like it belongs to another planet. Just imagine, on these small islands alone, there are 23 different languages. So how do people communicate? That question is just for reference, but what makes Bougainville memorable isn't just the language, but also the extremely common practice of polygamy.
Men having multiple wives isn't just for entertainment, but also a way to demonstrate status, power, and wealth. Having more wives means additional labor for farming, livestock, and household work, like investing in human resources to climb the social ladder. But do you think that life is peaceful?
Not at all. From this also arises jealousy, envy, and even infidelity, sounding like a long-running TV drama. The girls here are no less impressive. Many skillfully show off their beauty in the most natural way to attract potential partners. Coming here, you'll clearly see the power of Bougainville men through their colorful U-pads, looking like miniature roofs. Wearing them exudes leader-like charisma. Meanwhile, women wear outfits made from straw and grass, not sure exactly what materials, but you'll recognize them immediately. Charming in indigenous style, during festivals they dance and sing joyfully to welcome guests, and if you visit, you'll definitely become part of the party. It's precisely these differences that create Papua New Guinea. Who knows, you might be the next person to set foot here and experience things you've never seen anywhere else in the world. So we've just explored Papua New Guinea together. A place that seems distant yet strangely familiar, with unique customs, magnificent nature, and culturally diverse people. From the vibrant coral reefs beneath crystal clear waters, to the wild dances in bougainville villages, every detail makes us marvel in admiration.
Wow, does such a place really exist in this world?
What about you? What interests you most about Papua New Guinea? The colorful yup hats, the mysterious caves, or the jealous-filled polygamous love stories? Remember to leave comments below to let us know.
Additionally, if you found this interesting, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to Enigmatic Echoes channel so we have more motivation to bring other mysterious lands to you.
See you in the next journeys. Goodbye.
Subscribe to Guy and Nico channel so you don't miss exciting videos.